back to the Airshow Lounge podcast. This is episode 11, and we're back after our little hiatus. In today's episode, we're going to just discuss the absolute plethora and mass of aircraft announcements that have happened in the 5-week break that we've had. My name is Dan, and joining me in today's episode is...
Jack.
And Matt.
Honestly, for those of you that are listening currently, there was too many tries to get to that point. It was bad. However, we are going to start today's episode, as we've all discussed, and we thought it was a good idea, and to pay tribute to Squadron Leader Mark Long, who sadly lost his life doing what he loved, which was flying aircraft at RAF Coningsby this past weekend. I think it's come to a shock to a lot of us of hearing about this. And I know that we were going to record an episode a couple of days ago, and we couldn't record this episode. I think hearts, prayers, everything out to family and friends of Mark and Blue Skies. And I'll just leave that pause in there just so we can have a think about that. And we are going to move on to air shows. I know it's quite hard to move on from that, but we just wanted to put that right at the start of the episode, that we are just thinking about, all family and friends and everything. But we are going to be discussing something that Mark would have been doing and what he loved to do, which was fly aircraft and talk about the aircraft. We're going to start off with RIAT. Where do we start? Hello? Luckily, RIAT decided they were going to go 4 weeks while we were on a hiatus without announcing any flying or participants. So we've only last week had the first set of flying participants in a month. Starting off with the Italians bringing back their amazing solo displays.
We were on strike. That's what it really was.
Yeah, we were on strike. We were not happy with RIAT. Don't start doing statics all the time. We'll go again.
I think it's really nice to see after 4 weeks of static aircraft that we've got a variety of flying, and the Italians are always a superb addition. I don't think you can go an air show without the Italians being there, and you've got the commentator who's just the most enthusiastic person in the world, and I think they just bring something else, and I don't know what that something else is, but I think they just bring something different to the air show.
I think for me it's the fact that they take aircraft that you don't necessarily think can do the things that they do. I mean, they got the C-27 Chase Spartan there this year. They fly that thing like a fighter jet. Some of the maneuvers that thing does, you'd think you'd be looking at a Typhoon demo, not a transport aircraft.
I think it was a miss last year, wasn't it, with the Italian centenary, and unfortunately, for whatever reasons, the way they had to move the flying aircraft onto the static line and weren't able to display it last year. I think it was a miss because it's so nice to have some heavy aircraft in the flying display, and the C-27 they fly it so agile and they put it to the max, doing loops, barrel rolls, whatnot. It's a great scene, and it just goes alongside the elegance of like their M346 master displays, and all their displays are with some form of elegance, and they're just really good. And it's nice to have all three of their displays, because we've also got the Typhoon back this year, adding to what is already an amazing lineup of aircraft. And we'll talk about some of the flying self-confirms that I'm sure Jack will want to speak about very, very shortly once we've gone through the rest of the static lineup. I mean, we've got the static lineup in front of us, or hopefully we have, from the last 5 weeks. I mean, start throwing out some things that jump out at you guys, because I mean,
Portuguese F-16s.
Yes. Yeah.
I think just add all the F-16s to that as well. I mean, what are we up to? We've got 2 F-16s from Portugal, 2 from Romania, and 4 from the Netherlands, and 2 from Greece in the last those last couple of weeks. And that's...
Yeah, we're now at 14 total for the Viper line, and I'm sure that is yet to be finished. I think we're going to be pushing 20.
I think with the latest update that that RIAT had about the Americans sort of beginning to pencil and pen things in, I think all of a sudden that's going to start to eke up, especially having F-16s at both Aviano and Spangdahl, and whether they send them from both bases is yet to be seen.
Yes.
But, if you're looking at 2 there, that goes up to 16 there, doesn't it?
I think, if we get 2, I think you're probably, the chances are, the RIAT have said that the US expect to send to send F-16s or whatnot. So the chances are we will get 2. It'd be nice for them to send 2 from each base, and that would obviously put us really close to 20. Whether or not we've got other operators on the ongoing list, like I'm still hoping and praying, fingers crossed, that those desert camoed Moroccan F-16s turn up, because they damn better do, because I want a bit of colour to that static line. But honestly, like I said, it must have been probably 2 podcast episodes ago, because it's been 6 weeks. So I said that if they get 20 F-16s on static, it's a success, like a major success, because that's, with the current climate and with everything and how many operators we've got, is rivaling the days of when they used to do C-130, sorry. Like things where they had like 40 C-130s turn up once or something stupid like that. We're going to that sort of thing, and it's just as well, photography-wise, it could be an amazing photo.
I mean, one thing on that photography side, I've seen a couple of things dotted around on various like social medias and forum sites online that there's potential plans in the works for like a sort of like a raised viewing platform for the Viper line. I think I've seen online. I don't know how true it is, but that's could be quite interesting to get a different angle on those hopefully 20-ish F-16s in a line.
That'd be really good if because it gives people to take photos from different, like, varying heights. With RIAT, it's very much like you do get people who'll come around, attach their camera to a monopod and then put it up in the air, and then take a photo off the phone. However, I think with having a stand or something of that sort of nature, I think that really gives a nice set of photos. And we all know the F-16 doesn't stand the tallest, so you might be able to see quite nicely on top of the aircraft.
Well, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do. How tall is it going to be? Because obviously, as well, you've got to figure out how to get people through or over or onto that race platform. Because surely you can't have just one sort of stairway, because that's just going to cause congestion. It's got to be you end up one way and down the other sort of thing. I mean, we'll see what they do even if it happens. But yeah.
I think you guys might agree with me here. I think it'd be a good idea. So we got a guy who hasn't yet been on the podcast, but we all know him as Doctor. I don't think we should put him up on the platform, because I think he might have a heart attack seeing so many F-16s.
Yes,
yeah. I think that's very true. That's him.
We'll need to get him on. We'll get him on for the episode before RIAT, and sort of looking at everything over. I think I'll turn our attention to one of the themes of the year, the other theme of the year. We've done F-16s. Canada, we have in the last 5 weeks had confirmation of Canadian static. So we've got the C295 Kingfisher in brilliant yellow and red sort of livery. We've got the C-130. We've got the C-150 Polaris, which is the A310, and their C-17 as well, all planned to attend, which is to say it's from Canada, it's quite far. That's a pretty damn good lineup of Canadian aircraft.
For the air show that they could be missing out, is it? Well, I can't think of the air show that's going on that weekend of RIAT.
It's Cold Lake, I think.
Cold Lake. I think for the fact that they've got one of their main air shows of the year going on the same week, fair play to the Canadians for giving Europe some love with their RCAF 100.
I think that's very true. I think I'm not exactly an expert on the Canadian Air Force, but I seem to recall they don't have too many of those CC-150s, or probably many C-17s either, so they're probably taking a decent chunk of their sort of
I mean,
lineup out of the.
would the CC-150 be bringing? Is that the air-to-air refueler that would bring the F-18s over?
Maybe a good point. I think so.
Probably. That'd make sense. I know
So
that
the
in RIAT,
C295 is pretty new too, isn't it? I don't
yes,
think
the
it's.
C295s are brand new. I think they're probably going to still have the new smell on them when they turn up.
Just going on to C-17s quickly. Obviously, just off topic, but we'll come back to the Canadians. Obviously, they're bringing. You've got the SAC C-17.
We do,
And
yeah.
if the US Air Force send a C-17, is it a first of 5 C-17s at an air show? For RIAT?
I was about to say we're at 4 already, aren't we? So
how many have we got? We've got what?
not 4 currently. With
Qatar, Canada, SAC.
RAF,
Have RAF confirmed one? I don't think they have yet, have they?
SAC,
I think
Canada.
we've got 3. So if we get the US one, that's 4. Which that would be a record. If we get a 4th one, that would be a record because we've only ever had 3, both 2018, 2019. And if we get a RAF one, that would make 5. So that would then break a record as well. So we're on for. There's another record I'll mention later that we also could break this year as well. But yeah, I think I'm just saying.
I think else from that static lineup, something a bit sort of maybe on a personal level for myself is the flying lab that's been announced out of Cranfield University. I mean, they tend to use a lot of the airspace not too far from me to be flying around, and they fly over me a lot of times when they're out to go and fly their patterns out in the Bristol Channel area. So it'd be nice to actually get a proper up close look at one, not just at 10,000 foot as it flies past me.
Yeah. I think one for me, and again, this is a new nation attending RIAT for the first time ever, is the Serbian Air Force bringing one of their new C295s as well, because it has the winglets on it. So we're getting the Serbian Air Force for the first time ever to RIAT, bring some stuff. And as much as everyone can say it's only a C295, it's how many nations have we had that it's only been this, and then suddenly that's opened the doors to other aircraft turning up? And with the Serbians still having Russian tech aircraft, why doesn't this mean in 2 RIATs time they can't bring a MiG-29 or they can't bring something else? And it's just nice that we're having more nations wanting to come and show their stuff off. And I'm pretty sure behind the scenes they've probably had 2 or 3 years of solid work to get Serbia to be able to attend RIAT this year.
100%. I think Lithuania's been quite interesting with their MiL-8 HIP announcement as well. That'd be quite nice to see a proper bit of Eastern Bloc hardware.
That's something that I was gonna say is probably one of my other than obviously the F-16s. I think the HIP is one of those ones that I'm really looking forward to getting a little bit closer to look around.
Because we always get one, don't we? Like last year, did we get a Czech? Was it a Czech one? Then the year before we had the Hippenheim demo, which was probably also from the Czechs, I think, as well.
So that was a really good demo.
It was a good demo. But we've been quite lucky that we've probably had one for the past every 2 or 3, basically one for the last 3 years now. And it's nice to see a Lithuanian one we haven't seen in age. I don't even think I could go into my spreadsheet and tell you since the last time we found out the Lithuanian one. It must be going 10 plus years.
It's always nice to see. Obviously, you get, for example, the Typhoon. You'll get a Typhoon that will come up from the RAF, and it's in its sort of grey scheme. Then you get the Germans that paint it with the Bavarian Tiger and everything like that. But where I'm going is when you've got helicopters, you might have one air arm that will do it in like a black and green sort of colour, and then you might get someone else who uses a completely different colour scheme.
Yeah, I don't know what variant they've got, because they've got a search and rescue one, and I think they've got a military one as well. So it depends what we get with that, because the search and rescue one is in quite nice colours.
Just had a quick Google. I'm not an in-depth one, but I think it's the first time we've had a Lithuanian MiL-8 HIP since 2005, I think.
There you go. My spreadsheet doesn't go about that
So
far.
nearly 20 years ago.
Yes.
Wow.
So again, it's like, so as much as to the non-enthusiast, it's just a hit we saw on last year. To us, it's it's 20 years since we've seen anything like this. I mean, I would have been there. I was a kid, probably barely walking at the time. So it's so nice to see that sort of stuff as well.
Again, it also goes back to the old conversation that we keep having. Enjoy them while you've got them,
Yes.
because for 20 years, that's a long time. But are you guaranteed to see a hip in 20 years' time?
No.
Maybe not.
Absolutely
definitely not a Lithuanian one, according to the Air Tattoo website. So it says Lithuania operate the Mi-8T primarily for search and rescue, firefighting, and organ transport duties. And these will be replaced late in 2024 and early 2025 by the UH-60 Black Hawk. So
it's the last time we'll see one then.
Yeah, last time we'll see them.
There you go. And to note, we talked about breaking records and stuff. This year we could break the record for the most number of C-27 Spartans on static display. And we are currently already at the current record with Slovenia, Slovakia, Lithuania, and Romania all bringing one, which gives us a total of 4. This was last achieved, I think, in 2019, which we had, if I very quickly go back and have a look, we had Romania, Italy, Lithuania, and Slovakia were the 4 in 2019. So if we get one more, so if Italy decide to bring a static one, we will break the record for the most number of C-27s.
What I like about that is sometimes you get a display, an aerial display, where they might only bring a C-27, for example, but there's no one on the ground with a C-27, so you've got to hope that you bump into the aircrew to ask them questions.
Yeah.
Whereas if the Italians display, but you go over to the Romanians and ask them a question about the display, they might be able to help you in some way regarding what the aircraft's doing.
Yeah, no, I feel that. But yeah, no,
I think
so good.
I think one on that, as I said, one on the list I think we've sort of maybe slightly glossed over is the French Mirage. That'd be nice to see as well.
Yes. French
sort of going through our
Mirage.
list we've got in front of us, and the French Mirage.
There she is.
I think it's the
Third
first
from
time
top.
it's the first time we've had a Dash 5 on static display at RIAT, if I think correctly.
I'm just gutted that we probably aren't going to see Core 2 Delta RIAT.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame, but there's always chances to see them again. And it's nice that the other airshows have been supported as well. I mean, Cosford, we'll talk about Cosford very shortly and their support from the French. But yeah, no, it's good. I think one last thing that I forgot to add to the list, and I've just remembered, is coming with the Portuguese F16s is their brand new KC-390 from Embraer.
Ooh.
Which I completely forgot to add to the list, which is new. So another thing to add to the list of things that are cool and exciting to see. We've got quite a lot of sort of heavy metal, I guess, on the ground this year so far, which is always nice to see, taking up some nice space.
Was it the Brazilians that bought the KC-390 last time around? I can't remember if it was last year or the year before.
Yeah.
But it's quite a nice little, it's a nice transport aircraft.
Yeah,
Is that the shrunken C-17?
Yes. Yeah, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like it looks identical to the Kawasaki C2.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's cool. I think we've touched everything on RIAT.
The only other one that we won't really talk about. Obviously, there's a vast array of RAF training aircraft coming.
Yes. I will just say a big yes, great to the RAF. They're supporting the air show well again. We haven't got their heavies yet. We haven't got helicopter command. We haven't got Navy. But we've already got 3 Typhoons and just the wide array of training aircraft that they're sending this year as well, which is, again, brilliant to see that the RAF are supporting the air show to such a degree.
The only thing that we'll say regarding with what's happened as well is that obviously the BBMF have now been grounded, but we don't know for how long.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that.
I think so. I say one last thing going back to the Typhoons. They seem to be, at least looking so far on the Tattoo website, one from 41 Squadron, which is a twin seat T3
Yep.
version,
They're
and
putting that
then
on the pushing boundaries, aren't they?
Yes, yeah, one from 2 Squadron up in Lossiemouth, the NATO 75 theme, and then another one from 12 Squadron. So hopefully that'll be 3 nicely squadron marked jets from both frontline bases.
That would be really nice.
It's nice for them to bring over to. I'm pretty sure one's a training, wasn't it? For the
Yeah, the
Qatari
twin
Air
tub
Force.
one.
Yeah. So
I think, yeah.
So I know
12 Squadron.
They said that one's going to be with all the Qatari Air Force stuff that's coming. So it sounds like they're going to split them up all over the airfield, which not a bad thing. I don't mind just walking up. Oh, there's another Typhoon.
You said Qatar.
I did say Qatar. Shall we move on? Shall we move on to the South confirms? Do you want to introduce it, Jack? Go on.
Qataris have self-confirmed there's an F15 coming to display.
Yes.
I can't contain myself. I'm literally shaking.
So I'll do the formalities. Boeing have this year announced that they are bringing back their demo teams, and they have set up the F15 Advanced demo team, which is showcasing the new advanced platform, basically the EX or the QA, showing its range of capabilities. They, in a recent post on social media, have self-confirmed both for Farnborough and for RIAT in the UK. And you should have seen the group chats when that was announced. I don't think I have ever seen Jack so excited in my entire life. Yes.
I was genuinely about to take a nap, and I literally wake up to ping, 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 ping. And I'm like, what on earth is going on here? And then I saw that, and I was like, I can't sleep now.
By the way, what a video that comes with it as well.
I was about to say, if you haven't seen the video, take time, go and watch it. It is absolutely well worth the time. It is. If it doesn't make you excited for their demo, if you weren't excited already for the demo, after that you most definitely will be.
What's really good as well is that it's going to show it in different configurations across the days. So you can have an air-to-air, an air-to-ground, simulated demo, and it's just, it's everything that I could want. Like, there is going to be, without swearing, but there is going to be underneath it, hanging off of it, and just showing, I really hope, this is the one hope that I've got, that it is on the south side so that I can stand there while they pull the JFS.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh.
I don't even think it matters, does it? Even if it's on north side of the airfield, you're going to hear that JFS howl. Tomorrow, aren't you?
If I think like an hour before, if I know where the F15 is, even if it's on the north side, I'm going to be at the closest point to where I can hear it.
It might be worth like, I don't know. Oh no, if you if you're off base on one of the days, sort of walk round to that north side and see if you can get even closer on like the pathway on the road. See if you can get it from there.
Don't give me ideas.
I'm not giving you ideas. This is this is not bad ideas. I think. Go on.
Say a bit of a theme here. I think the last time there's a Boeing F-15 demo at RIAT was also 2005. So maybe worth seeing where else came in 2005. And
I hope we haven't got to wait 20 years for another one.
No, I hope not either. No.
Well, I think when Boeing made the Super Hornet, wasn't it? Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was.
Because when the Super Hornet was being, exported to countries, they brought that to RIAT quite a few times.
Yeah, because they brought it in 2016, didn't they? With it had stuff hanging off of it, didn't it?
Yeah, so I think there's potential that this could become a regular for the next couple of years at RIAT. I mean, I say potential, maybe it's every other year when Farnborough falls, and because obviously they're trying to export it, and there's rumours that Poland are going to buy into EX maybe, which again, don't tell Flex because they might then make a demo team out of it.
I'm trying. I am trying. Right, honestly, right now I am trying so hard not to swear.
Flex has been spending his last couple of weeks at the Polish embassy trying to convince them to buy the EX.
Oh no, they've already said that I can have my name on it.
But no, I think it's probably going to be the Star, unless we get anything else. Because
No, you go back to what you were going to say.
Unless we get anything else that's somehow tops it, I think the F15 advanced demo will be the star of the show.
I mean, the amount of people I've seen that have been sort of on the fence, umming and ahhing about booking tickets to RIAT this year, and then that got announced, even if it's just a self-confirmation.
I'm about to say, yes, this has not been confirmed by RIAT yet.
I appreciate RIAT haven't actually confirmed it yet, but so many people I know have been like, right, that's it, tickets booked.
Yeah.
On that one sole self-confirmation.
I think as well, there's only, 6,000 RIAT tickets left for the Saturday?
5? This is less than 5 now.
5,000.
Yeah, it's less than 5 now. So, and with rumoured updates, I think they could sell even quicker.
I just think what they need to do is if they get the F15 out this week, I think it could also come with some of the other self-confirms, as I'll nicely plug in. It could come with the Royal Navy Black Cats who have self-confirmed that they're coming to RIAT, and we've got confirmation on what the Chinook roll demo is going to be this year, which is exactly what we talked about probably about 7 weeks ago, which is underslung loads, things driving out the back, and troops. Hooray!
Really looking forward to that. I think I'm probably going to repeat myself from a few podcasts back, but it'd be nice to see the Chinook doing what it actually does on a day-to-day basis, not what it does for 10 minutes every couple of weeks at an air show. So, it spends most of its life with stuff in the back, whether it's people or vehicles or stuff strapped to the bottom of it. So, yeah, nice to see it actually in a real-world configuration and real-world stuff, not just look at what this can do if we really push it to the limits.
I like when stuff is hanging off the bottom of it, and it as good as air shows are, you realise what you're looking at is designed to inflict hurt and pain and stuff. But I think when you look at an aircraft when it's got a payload, I always look back at was it RIAT 2016 when the Typhoon was fully tooled up?
Yes,
that was a good one.
I look at that and I if I see a Typhoon looking like that, I think, wow, what a bit of kit. But when it's clean, I'm not too sure on it.
Yeah, I feel that. I think depending on what it's doing and how they've set it up can make the aircraft look as aggressive or as not aggressive as possible. I think that's one of the things. I mean, let's be real. This is no flack towards the Chinook demo team, but over the past couple of years with aging airframes, reliability and stuff, they have made that RAF display a little bit tamer. They're not throwing the aircraft about as much as they used to. When they used to properly do the quick stop and stuff like that, they're not doing that as hard anymore. So I think it's going to be a nice change. It'll be a nice change of pace. And I think, again, for photography and just it's different. It's going to be good for the show this year.
If you look at... sorry, Matt, go on.
No, that's fine, you go ahead.
I was just going to quickly say, if you look at the only time you'll see a helicopter strapped with something like that is if it's near base or if it's just picked up. Otherwise, it just becomes a bit... You don't really see them, so it's nice to see it up close with, doing its day job.
I think the only maybe annoying about it, obviously appreciate they've got a lot of operational requirements and maybe crew and airframe serviceability, but obviously they're only at Cosford Air Show, RIAT and Farnborough. That's all they're doing this year. But hopefully, if there's a really good, which it already seems so from reading social media comments and posts and all this type of good stuff, there seems to be a lot of hype about this roll demo. So hopefully the RAF and the people that put these displays on realise that they want more of a roll demo as opposed to pushing it to the limit, and for the years coming, they sort of maybe move away from that, display and into this role demo more and more events, and hopefully maybe they can probably diversify the role demo to an extent to sort of suit different locations. If they displayed a role demo at Bournemouth, they could bring a marine element into it, for
Yeah.
instance, or I can't think of any mountainside air shows in the UK, but
Well,
there's the options there.
I'm hoping it more with these role demo things. We've got 2 this year, haven't we? From both the F35 and the Chinook. The RAFC. It's quite easy to do a roll demo. There's not a lot of working up of it. So can we not roll demo our A400s? Can we not roll demo this and this? Do you know how far can they take this as the roll demoing? Can we get new aircraft being brought to the roll demo side of things, which I would not say no to.
I mean,
I think-
I wonder if it's the sort of natural cycle of the RAF, because obviously a couple of years ago there was the big push for the Tornado roll demo, the Hawk roll demo, the Apache roll demo. I appreciate it's Army, the Apache roll demo, and then those have all disappeared off the circuit, and we've been replaced with the more traditional display teams.
Yes.
And I wonder now if we're heading back into that roll demo side of display.
I hope so.
I wonder as well, because I remember. Do you remember when they did like the RAF TV show on the BBC where you followed the BBMF, Red, Typhoon, and
Yes.
Chinook? I remember them saying back then that a lot of the Chinook Air display put the aircraft literally on its limits.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're looking at the roll demo as we can save the airframe by doing this instead of doing that.
But
I mean,
still
yeah.
do cool stuff at the same time.
I mean,
Yeah,
again, I don't mind that, because as much as they're putting the aircraft to limits, and that's what, we go to air shows to see, especially with like fast jets and stuff, I don't mind them doing something different with that. Fine, push the jets limit, push the bigger aircraft to limit, but why not have a little bit of a change in pace, a little bit change of direction with the Chinook? Why not do the same, for something else? It's like, absolutely, why not do the same for like the A400? Let's see them, I don't know, do a short landing, some troops and vehicles come out the back, it take off, it land, does a couple of passes, lands again, and why can we not have that for the A400? It opens up the door for something like that. I'm not saying they are going to do it. I mean, we'll see what happens, but yeah.
You got to look at you when you go to an air show, you might have 100 aircraft flying, but of those 100 aircraft that you'll have flying, how many of those do you actually remember? You almost want something that's going to stand out and go, God, do you remember when the Chinook did this back in 2024?
Yeah.
Whereas if you say now, oh, what did the Chinook do back in 2023 to 2016? Everyone will go, the same thing.
Yeah, no, I can see that, and you are right. Really, it's like everyone remembers the Austrian QRA demo.
That was superb.
Do you know what I mean?
That was really good.
Everyone says, "Oh, I wish that could come back," and they're the standout things, aren't they? The one-offs that turn up, and hopefully that's what we get out of the Chinook demo. Maybe it cannot be a one-off, but I think we will move on to the next airshow. We've spoken for RIAT for half an hour now. We know we've left it a while. We're definitely not leaving it this long to the next airshow podcast, but. What's happening in 2 weeks' time from the recording of this, even less than 2 weeks' time? Cosford Air Show.
It's this weekend, isn't it?
It's not this weekend, the weekend after. The 9th of June.
Okay.
They have continued from where we left off with Katua Delta last podcast episode, and with a little bit of luck and obviously sadness from the Danish side of things, the Danish air show was postponed till next year, and they have profited off that with the French Rafale.
This is now the second event it's attending this year, obviously alongside Duxford. So,
yes. I mean, great. I mean, yeah. Do you know what? Look, we gave Cosford flack at the start of this airshow season. They were not keeping up, but they have turned it around. It's not brilliant, out of this world, but it's good. Yeah, it's good from where we were last year.
it's better than where we were 5 weeks ago.
Yes, I mean, well,
Yes, yeah.
since 5 weeks ago, we've had a Cap 10, Pit Special, Swordfish, a Wasp, Black Cats, which is a solo display, the Extra 300, which is also from France. I would try and do the whole name of it, but it's like a tongue twister, and I'm not good at French, so I don't want to ruin it. But it is also from the French display teams: the Rafale, the Tutor, the Voyager, the Glider, and the Lynx from Project Lynx, all confirmed in the flying display. It's a nice variety.
You've
And I'm
also
not going to
got
complain about that.
You've also got on the statics, and you got A400, Dutch NH90, 13 Jaguars.
I think plus another 7, is it? There's a line of 13 Jaguars. Plus, I think there's going to be another like 3 or 4 in other colour schemes as well. So
Yes, yeah.
And you got the Tonkas and the Harriers.
yeah, so far we have got decent lineup. I'll be intrigued to see what they do with the they call it the cat line for the Jaguars. How that works out. What happens with that? How much space do they give for photography? Are they going to go with an elevated platform? But on the whole, it's better than last year. Obviously, we know they had their issues last year with Axe brought in to replace Axe and then Axe cancelling that they brought in and stuff like that. So, but on the whole, we are looking better than last year. And whether or not, I'm just going to throw this out there. I know this is like wild card, but there are some B-52s currently based at Fairford, and they're going to be here for probably the next couple of weeks. Could we get a fly pass from a B-52?
I was going to say, so obviously you've got Duxford this weekend, haven't you?
We do.
So this weekend, I believe it's Duxford, and you got the Riviera Air Show down in
And
Devon
Midlands.
and Midlands.
Yes, there's 3 air shows this weekend.
And the Shuttleworth, I think, potentially.
Shuttleworth also this weekend? There
So-
can't be 4. Surely
I think
not.
so. Quick
So we
Google.
got potentially 4 air shows this weekend, and you could quite easily get a B-52 up to Midlands, go across the corridor, and then down into Duxford.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shuttleworth this weekend as well.
Is it? Wow. So 4 air shows this weekend.
So,
Only on the Sunday though for the air show.
Okay.
so I think there's going to be a lot of, for those who track the aircraft online, there's going to be lots of movements around all these aircraft going to different parts of the UK for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. But no, I'm so happy with that Cosford have made an effort step forward. Hopefully that allows them to have another step forward next year, and then they can sort of rebuild that back, and it's not the attitude of it'll be okay, because they haven't sold out as quickly as they have last year. You know, we're less than 2 weeks away from the show, and they have not sold out. That's not normal for Cosford. But you know, they've got on top of that the Reds, the Typhoon, the 35B demo, the Chinook self-confirmed. They still haven't confirmed the Chinook yet. It's not a bad display. To say that you've got some more fast jets with the Mirages and the Rafale. You've got some nice solo aerobatics with the Cap 10, the Pit Special, and the Extra 330. You've got a heavy in there from the Voyager. Aren't the Falcons meant to be jumping out of the A400 this year there as well?
Yes, yeah, they
So-
are. Yeah,
You'll probably get a fly past from the A400. So I don't know. It's better than last year. Well done for Cosford for making that step forward and coming back to the front and being able to profit off obviously other air shows. I just think well done for that. You know, they could have just left hearing about that Danish air show and gone whatever. But they heard something's cancelled. What can we get? The French already coming. Can we talk to the French? Can we get the Rafale? Bam, got the Rafale. It was like within the week they'd got it. So nice efficiency. Yeah, it's going to be good. Going to be a good display. I think this year it'll be classed as a good display. Not a brilliant, but a good display.
I was going to say if you can go maybe not necessarily off topic completely, but just a couple of things I've noted online from looking at in sort of Facebook groups and some online forums. There's a few changes that have come about for next weekend's D-Day air show at Duxford, including I think one of the I don't think I've seen too much from Duxford themselves about is the Rafale has been moved to Saturday only. So it was previously down for both Saturday and Sunday. And apparently, due to the support aircraft being tasked elsewhere in quite short notice from the Duxford weekend, rather than cancelling the whole weekend, they've just elected to display only on the Saturday. So
Okay.
But on the flip side, more good news for Duxford. Due to some, I think, slight logistical, administrative details at North Weald Airfield, the original plan for the D-Day parachute jumpers for Duxford was to get on the aircraft at North Weald, fly to Duxford, jump out, aircraft fly back to North Weald. Job's a good one. However, I believe, from what I've read online, North Weald doesn't have a license anymore for a certain number of parachutists to get on board the aircraft at the airfield. So the Dakotas will now be flying from North Weald to Duxford. Parachutists getting on board, taking off, jumping out, and then either landing back at Duxford or going straight back to North Weald. So those at Duxford will see some Dakota movements on the ground, most likely.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to complain at all. There's some very different air shows going on, which is good to see. We're getting different things from all around the UK over this next weekend, which is going to be a busy weekend. I think just looking forward to all the air shows. The weather looks like, fingers crossed, touch wood, that it's going to be okay so far.
You've jinxed it now.
I know I have. I touch wood, it's fine. But yeah, we should be okay weather-wise, and I think it's going to be a good set of air shows to properly kickstart, I think, the UK air show scene, because it's then thick and fast from there. The weekend after's Cosford. Is it the weekend after that's Sywell? A couple of weekends after that's RIAT. So we're into the thick of things now once this weekend's been and gone, and we're into the thick of the air show season. And what an air show season it is looking to be so far, with all the different air shows being so different. And as I've said, I think 2024 could be the air show season to remember.
I don't think now. Not making any promises to people here, but I think now with everything coming thick and fast, the podcast may become between a week and 2 weeks, because obviously we'll be doing reviews, and then we'll be building up to the next air show as well.
Yeah, I don't want to put a timeline or a time date on things, but I think potentially next week we'll try and get an episode out for a review of all the air shows this weekend, and then a preview of Cosford coming up. Because I mean, well, you know, we're going to have air shows thick and fast, and then we're going to have people going to Sywell after Cosford, which I know we're going to get a few people on that are going to Sywell are going to pop on and give their review of a new air show to the UK air show scene. So yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a nice air show season, and as I always say, keep the weather to where we want it to be. And unless anyone else has any comments, we'll wrap it up.
I'm done.
Nope, nothing.
I'll
Just
take the silence and thing. That's
let's
fine.
have a great.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the Airshire Lounge podcast. We are going to be coming this more regularly. Sorry that our socials have been a little bit quiet as well. We're trying to keep up. We have been busy. But yeah, thank you all for listening. If you do want to get involved, and if we do post things on socials, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. Just search the Airshire Lounge, and you can find us on there and join the discussion with other people. Other than that, that has been the 11th episode. We hope to see you in the next one. Thank you all for listening, and goodbye.